the above energy. Oh my God, we're having a 3, we're having a 4, and we're having a 5. So it's kind of like you're jumping grades, right? So you don't want to just go and take your material, really jumping. And these kind of like trinity over here, you see, kind of she represents the feminine principle, here represents the masculine principle, but she also represents the emotional world, where he represents the, let's say, intellect and kind of like cool head kind of a thing. But this is a counterbalance that's almost like, you know, that we entered kind of like a check-in of the system. If something goes wrong and, you know, she pushes over, so everything is emotional or everything is like just overly kind of logical, then this kind of like morality checks in, right? So these are checks and balances that possibly we as humans discovered, because the Hierophant represents clergy, represents rules, represents your priest, your imam, whatever you are kind of following. So this is showing that these are the most powerful, basically, faces in the entire deck. But this also, guys, can talk about these two fellows being married. Maybe you're having marriage on mind. Maybe you're wondering how things would happen. Maybe somebody's married in this situation. It is extremely interesting. Oh my gosh, this is like feeling like a dream, like I'm reading a thriller or something of a sort. And when Hierophant is above you, this again can talk about your boss, who might have kind of like, who might be studying you under the microscope kind of a thing, kind of like really seeing how you are. And you see, as it goes, as gradation, it goes from 3 in the past to 4 in the future. So this is kind of like what is on your mind over here. So it can show that you're really generating momentum. Also, what is really important to note over here, that in tarot, 3 is the beginning point, not 1, 3. And this is where you are deciding to embark on your journey. That's why this represents creativity, because you need to have that spark to go forward, right? So that emotion is what pushes us in certain direction. And then we are saying, okay, let's see it from different sides. So let's continue and see what is like immediately ahead of you. Wow. Somebody is like resting. Knight of Cups is kind of like that well-earned kind of like, okay, stop and smell the roses kind of a thing, right? Because, you know, maybe you need to kind of like enjoy life. Maybe you need to kind of like comfort yourself, like with a good cake or something. But this is clearly saying that you're going to feel well accomplished, that you're going to feel, hey, you know, I know what I'm doing. This is really interesting because I can see kind of like somebody shaving that edge from you, and that edge could be sometimes too hard to absorb, because you're like just like packed dynamo over there. So this peaceful and kind of like sometimes too much edge is just like not there. You're becoming so traditional. Remember how I said that there's like this traditional component, except we'll have to clarify this woman and to see what's hiding behind that later, right? So we'll see. So the next is going to be kind of like what you kind of like feel from inside. What are the inner kind of like processes and influences?